About 6 months ago, I re-entered the ATP rankings and decided to turn pro at the young age of 30. So in today's video, let's talk about that. How has life on tour been treating me in this first 6 months of going pro? And then I'm gonna answer some of your questions regarding life on tour. Let's go. All right, so let's first look at my ranking progression. I re-entered the ATP rankings on September 18th, 2023 after 4 years without playing. Since then, I won 2 futures, one 15K, one 25K. I made another semis of a 25K, quarters of a 25K, and lost a couple early rounds, which is normal. So as of today, in the live ATP rankings, I'm ranked number 594 in the world, and I've accumulated a total of 59 ATP points so far. So that's not too bad at all. It's been like a good steady climb. We'll be talking about ranking goals in a second. It's a lot of the questions that I got, so I'll be answering that a little bit later in the video. Stick around. But now that I'm 6 months into the journey, let me give you a little bit of my perspective on how, really tour life has been treating me. Some of the ups, some of the downs, some of the struggles. I think playing on the tour is just really a humbling experience, right? I think you guys on the channel have maybe gotten used to me winning a lot of these UTR events, a lot of tournaments, but the reality is once you're playing pro events, doesn't really matter if they're futures or challengers. It's not easy to win titles, make finals week in and week out. And the reality is, as you kind of climb up the rankings, you need to get big results, right? You need to make semis, finals, or win events. Everything else won't really do much for your ranking. It does when you're 1100 or 1200, but by the time you get to the 500s, you need big results. And I think something that you need to understand is that playing pros is a little bit of a game. The ATP ranking isn't necessarily a true measurement of level. For example, there are guys in the 400s who only play in places where the level is a little bit weaker. But when they move up, they get to that ranking of 400, 300, and they move up to play challengers, they can't win a match. It's just not going to happen. So you can tell there's like it's a bit of an inflated ranking. And that goes the other way around as well. You might play someone who's 1100 in the world and is playing D1 tennis here in the US, and plays high in the lineup, has a higher level, but is obviously not playing a lot of pro events. And you might lose to them because in reality, their level is probably more like 500 or 400 in the world. Kind of like that guy I played last year, Colton Smith, that we had a battle. That guy probably is playing 400 or 500 level tennis right now. He just doesn't have the ranking. So when you know that, the question becomes, which one do you focus more, right? Like, inflating your ranking, climbing up the rankings, obviously it's important. Or do you focus more on your level and then allow the results to happen naturally? I am personally more concerned on my level. I think if my level is high enough, I can win wherever I play. Obviously, the events here in the US are difficult. I think in Europe are as difficult in a lot of places as well. But you just kind of have to have the level, and you can't guarantee that you're going to win. But if you feel like your level is high, at some point you break through, the chips fall in the right place, and you might get a win or a final or something like that. So obviously that adjustment of like kind of playing the game of the tour again has been a little bit tricky, but again, I can't complain. I've been climbing up the rankings. The level has been good, and you just kind of have to keep chipping away little by little. But with that being said, let's jump into some of your questions. And just a quick break to thank today's video sponsor, Keeps. I'm pretty sure playing on tour is not great for my hair loss issues, so Keeps is gonna help me with that. Keeps is your expert care for hair loss, and it's all done from the comfort of your home. With Keeps, you get personalized treatment plans recommended by licensed medical providers, delivered right to your door on your schedule. Whether it's every 3, 6, or 12 months, Keeps fits into your routine seamlessly. What's even more impressive is that Keeps offers clinically proven treatments. And here's the bonus: Keeps not only provides effective treatments, but also hair thickening shampoo, conditioner, and styling pomade. So if you're ready to take control of your hair loss journey, try Keeps now. For a special offer, go to keeps.com/mytennishq or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/mytennishq. Remember, Keeps, because great hair shouldn't be a thing of the past. Okay, from Mauro, what in your game has really changed from 6 months ago compared to now? I think the main thing is my fitness, right? Like you guys know, I've been putting a lot of work in that. That opens up a lot of possibilities on court. I can get to more balls. I can play an extra ball with more quality. I can be in better position to hit more shots. And so, you know, my footwork is a lot better. You can go back and watch some of the matches from last year and then watch some of the matches I've posted this year. And you see how much better I'm moving on court. My feet are alive. And that allows me to play the game that I want to play, right? Taking the ball early, taking time away, and obviously being able to play back-to-back matches with high quality. From Hadlich's block, what's the most significant mindset change you've made since coming back? I mean, I don't think there's a mindset change. I think I've been around this for a long time now as a coach, as a player. It's like, can you implement the things that sometimes you coach, right? Like, you know, play the moment. Don't think too far ahead. Don't think too far behind you. Don't play for the result. Like, all those things are difficult to do when you in practice actually doing. They're easy to say, hard to do. So it's like, can you week in and week out put yourself in a good mindset to play? And I failed half the time. Like, easily some weeks you're just like off mentally. So. But you just have to try to get back to that as much as you can. From George, at your peak, do you think you can play top 100 tennis? Your level looks like it's there to me. I do think I can. I need to make a video about that. When you play at a higher level, when I play guys in the top 100, you know, for practice and stuff, the game is a little bit simpler. I'm not saying it's easier, but it's simpler. Everyone's making the right decision. You know, you take care of your serve. You have a few opportunities to break here and there, but the match kind of goes a little bit, in a way, just almost like the way it should go. Where sometimes when you're playing futures or challengers, you know, people are making weird decisions. You're a little bit more nervous because you feel like you can win there. There's a lot of things that go into it, but personally, I think I do have the level. I just, you know, when you don't have just like a massive weapon, just like a serve that can keep you in matches, obviously everything needs to be well oiled in order for me to have a chance. So that's the hard part, to put it all together week by week. But yeah, if I were to get there, I think I could hang in. I would hope so. From Kanan, without your social media revenue, would you have been able to survive on tour? No. If I didn't have this tour comeback wouldn't be happening. I'd be playing some UTR events maybe and having some fun with that. But you know, you need to pay the bills at my age too. So I wouldn't be doing this without the social media thing. So, you know, shout out to you guys for allowing me to do this. From Aaron Petrie, how's your mental health been? How have you handled the pressures and emotions? It's been up and down, not gonna lie. I'd say, you know, I've been able to play some good ball, but like, you know, the travel kind of gets to you. So, you know, especially when you're traveling alone after, you know, the first week, halfway through the second week, it can get a little tough, and, you know, you get homesick, all that stuff. So, you know, the way I've been managing it is trying not to be away for too long, at least for now. Doing like 2 weeks, maybe 3 at a time, but allowing myself to like get back, reset, train a little bit, and then go. And that, I feel like, gives me the better chance to be mentally prepared for a tournament. Because if you're already going to the tournament like mentally a bit checked out, like, oh, this, I don't want to go, it's just, you're probably not going to win. So you have to kind of keep that balance. From Chatty, have you acquired sponsors, clothing and rackets and so on? Yes and no. I mean, I have the sponsors that help me, you know, improve, and Tourline to help me actually be on tour. So, you know, go check them out. Everything else in terms of just like products, rackets, clothing, you know, I'm playing with some Lacoste clothes right now, and obviously I've always been with Yonex. You know, I get free stuff. Just because, you know, we have a big reach and stuff, but I don't have any contracts with anybody. So, you know, I thank you for all these companies for, you know, sending me product and helping me stay not having to spend the money on this stuff, but I don't really have a deal with anybody yet. All right, from Yannick here, what is your ranking goal for this year? And are you happy with the amount of matches points won? So that's something a lot of people ask me, what's my ranking goal? What's the end game here, right? With this turning pro at 30. Ideally, towards the end of the year, I'd be in the 300s, hopefully low 300s. My goal is to play Grand Slam qualies, right? So you gotta be around 250, 240. That's the number. It's achievable in this year, but I wanna be patient, give myself probably another year or so to get to that ranking. But this year, the goal is to establish myself as, playing challengers. So, I gotta get through the futures and go play challengers because, they give more points and it's easier to then get up the rankings. So that's the main goal. The goal is to become a challenger player technically first. And then from there, you've got to kind of have to get used to that circuit as well. And then make, small moves towards hopefully top 100. Top 100 is always the goal, but there are, certain goals that you got to reach before. And the first thing would be to be able to play a full schedule on the Challenger Tour. Oh, and I am happy with my progression so far. It could be a little bit better, yes, but I've won already a couple titles. I haven't played necessarily that many events. I don't get wild cards to bigger events, so I have to grind through the futures, and so far it's been pretty good. From Zaid Mobs, do you find your body is recovering fast enough to be ready for the next matches? Yes, I do. Obviously the work with Andrew has been helping me a lot on the recovery part. Still a little bit tricky, if you have like a big week, you play 5-6 matches in a week, which I've done a couple times now. It's been a bit hard to recover for the following week, especially if you had travel in between those weeks and stuff like that. So that part still needs to be figured out, but again, it's a good problem to have, right? If I play 5, 6, 7 matches in a week, if I'm in qualies or something like that, that means that was a deep run. So it's okay, maybe the following week not to be perfect. But aside from that, on just 1 week of playing, I've been a lot better. I've been able to play 2 matches in the same day and be okay. So yeah, I'm feeling very strong. From Sanjay, what are some things that you told yourself to deal with any tough losses during this comeback? I think you just kind of have to be objective about why you lost. For example, I lost the first round of a future after winning the week before. But the condition changed so drastically. I was playing indoor tennis, and then I go into outdoor tennis. Completely different courts, the way they played, and not a lot of time to adjust to that, and you're a little bit tired, a little fatigued from the week before. You end up losing, and you just kind of have to live with it. That's kind of the game. You're going to put yourself through 20-25 weeks in a year, and you're not going to play amazing every week. The conditions might not be favorable in some weeks. You might get sick. I got sick in one of them. So there's a lot of components that happen that play into it, winning or losing. So just kind of be objective about it. And again, like I said earlier, keep more focus on level. Is the level good enough? And then go from there. From Alacrate Music, what's the skill or match play difference between a 300 player and a 600 player? Not a lot, man. I just beat someone who's 300. That there isn't really a different skill. Again, like I said, the ranking is a game. You guys will too often worry about the ranking as a measurement of level, but it's not really a measurement of level, right? Like I'm technically 600 in the world, but I am 300 and something UTR wise. And I'm not saying UTR is perfect, but that's a measurement of level, right? So I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of difference in skill. I think anyone can beat anyone at any given day, really. It's just like you've got to play a full season, you've got to have a couple big results, and sometimes you might not get those results, but you might have the level. So from Weekend Explorer, what do you do for post-match recovery? I actually got a lot of questions on this. So first thing, it's kind of simple, right? Like I think people think pros are doing like insane stuff to recover, and maybe, you know, Djokovic and some of those people are, but at our level, we can, you know, we can't travel with a cryo chamber or stuff like that. So it's very simple. I mean, it's stretching. It's, you know, if you can take an ice bath, I actually like to take like a nice hot bath so I can sleep well. Sleep is very important. Taking magnesium for recovery. I'm taking some protein for recovery as well. But the only way I can recover from match to match to match is if I'm actually putting in the work before the match, right? Like, it's not like there's no magical thing like you don't do fitness, you don't work out, you don't do that stuff, but then you can play and you have a magic sort of recovery routine that's gonna make you fresh for the following day. That doesn't exist. So the best way to recover for a match is to actually work out before and put in all that work, and your body is going to get used to just recovering. So, you know, for a lot of amateurs who are feeling tired and can recover from matches, you're just not putting in maybe you don't have time. It's not your fault, but you're not putting in the work required to actually be able to recover. So yeah, it's like going from 0 to 100 way too fast. From Shanko, 10 is here. If you didn't take this pro tour route, where would you see yourself now? I mean, I'll still be doing my tennis HQ. I'd still be focused on coaching. You know, we're trying to take the business to the next level. We're working on some stuff that it's going to come out soon, so stay tuned to that. But I'll still be doing a lot of on-court work with people, probably some clinics, and kind of see where that's kind of the future of my tennis HQ, really. In the future, we'll go back into more, you know, in-person stuff and all that. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go next. And so if I wasn't doing this, that's what I would be doing. From AT Priers, 6 months into it, are you still as pumped, or is it non-stop competition monotonous? It's a good question. A little bit of both. I think there's weeks where I'm like really pumped, and there's weeks where I'm not. There is a monotony to it. I think when you're not playing, you kind of miss a little bit of the psychological warfare of, you know, playing every week and having to deal with all those emotions. It's like, yes, I still got it. But when you're playing it every week, you kind of get a little fatigue of that. It's like, oh God, I have to do it again. I have to do it again. So there's a monotony to the tour that it's a bit, you know, it's the same stuff, just in a different city every week. It's kind of the same routine, so it can get a little boring. But again, I'm like really focused on the matches. Like, you know, the matches have been fun. They've been tough, but they've been fun, and it's a good way to, you know, test myself out. So that's kind of like the focus, and I try to forget about all the other stuff. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for all the questions. We had a lot more, but there's a limited time here. Currently playing, if I look a little tired, is because I had a 2-hour and 40-minute battle yesterday that I should have lost and somehow won. So I'm gonna play tomorrow against here in Calabasas in California, which is nice. I can sleep at home. I hope this helps kind of shed some light on what life on tour is, you know, especially at this level. You know, versus maybe being an ATP player. It is really hard. I feel like I've, you know, been successful enough so far, and it's still tricky. Don't let anyone say otherwise. It's a difficult tour. This is, again, sport. This is a sport that really owes us nothing. So yeah, just gonna have to keep chipping away and hopefully climbing up the rankings. And I'll be, you know, bring you guys along with me. Thank you for watching. Wish me luck, and I'll see you guys on the next one.